Hospitality is a very interesting and dynamic industry. Hospitality industry, very interesting and dynamic. And as we know, we have global best practices, that are acceptable. It's just like norms that are acceptable in the industry. So when you talk about global best practices, it encompasses a lot of things, a lot of dimension, in terms of technology, in terms of service delivery, in terms of training and retraining of staff, even the recruitment, onboarding of staff. There's so many things involved when you talk about global best practices. Well, let me just say the main challenge we have in this climb is orientation, education. In this climb, many people go into the hospitality business without much information about what they are about to go into. You see, the problem with us in this climb is education. You see, many of our hotel owners are not properly educated before going into the business. I've had series of experiences on the field where some people must have wasted fortune, and they will now realize that they need consultants. And by that time, let me say it may be late already. Before you go into any business, get to understand, how it works. The hotel business is a very complex business. Like globally, the trend is making sure your guests' expectations are exceeded. And so many, the technology is employed in making sure this is possible. You won't believe that up to now, we still have some of our local brands. In fact, most of our local brands have not even adopted the PMS. PMS is property management software, where you right from the guest arrival, if I arrive from online, by the time you are checking online to know about the hotel, their products and all that, right from online to when you get to the front desk and throughout all your experiences, all these things are captured by a software, makes the experience so robust and all that. Up till now, many of our local brands still find it difficult to adopt this PMS. To them, it's expensive. To them, they don't see any reason for it. And this is what makes, it improves guest experiences. It makes you satisfy your guests. You even exceed their expectations. Makes just just on the touch of a button, things are already happening. In the Western world, they're already going into, AI, right from CRM, customer relations management, service, CRS, and all that. They are already exploring using AI and all that. Here we are still on biro and paper. How do you compare the brands? The local brands are built around the owners. The owner, tells you either he is knowledgeable or not about the business. He runs it like a one-man business. And at the demise of the owner, the business dies. Unlike the global brands. The owners of Marriott are long gone. And Marriott keep multiplying all over the globe. Right now, they have about more than 1.5 million properties all over the world. They have acquired Sheraton here in Lagos, even 4 Point by Sheraton. You see them expanding. What is the secret? It's all about process, system. When there's no process, there's no system, then you are planning to fail. And it's a common saying that when you don't plan, you're already planning to fail. When there's no planning, many of them go into the business without proper feasibility studies. You know, a young man came in from diaspora, was not just last year, to invest in this same hospitality business, set up a lounge on the island. You won't believe it. 6 months, 100 million was gone. And he had to pack up and return back again. So what is happening? Why is it that the global brands are thriving and our own brands are not thriving? Meanwhile, we should even have some advantages over the global brands because it is natural. We are naturally hospitable. It is our nature in Africa. You know, hospitality, Africa is hospitality, hospitality is Africa. You know, so all we need to do is to get the formal training and convert our virtue, hospitality virtue, into in a professional way and run the business professionally. Well, actually, it's not by the quality. We still have some boutique hotels, you know, that are doing very well in the country. They are already trying as much as possible to, you know, follow the global best practices. You know, it's not until your hotel is so massive and big before you can exceed your guest satisfaction, you know. No. Even if it's just several rooms, you can still have a brand that can be reckoned with. You know, a brand is not until it's massive before you can say you have a brand. You can have a brand even in a small hotel. You can create a brand. So it's not about of course, we have some hotels that takes care of the middle class and they are doing it perfectly well. But what I'm just saying is majority of them are not doing it well because they have refused to adopt the tech. They have refused, you know, to follow, you know, good processes. They don't care about training. As far as they are concerned, the staff are just slaves. They use them and dump them. You know, they believe that if they don't do well, fire them, hire another person. You know, your business will be going in circles. You have to create a kind of linear graph, not the one that will just go up and fall down again. You know, try, you know, to train your staff. Like I always tell people, if you don't train them, don't blame them. Because, I mean, you can't imagine spending billions of naira to erect a structure in the name of a hotel, and you cannot even onboard your staff properly. Most of them, they just employ anyhow, put their relatives, and they start running. There is no onboarding program, no vision, no mission, no core values, no SOPs, and and as far as they're concerned, they are running a business. You know, when the owner is not around, nothing can happen, and the guests are complaining. Why is it that you don't have these things in stock? You cannot tell them that our MD is not around, that's why he has not released money. That should be budget. You run such businesses on budget. If he has to release money, he releases the money, you know, as at when the budget is ready and the budget is funded. So the business runs on autopilot. It doesn't have to be there. But most of these local brands, they want to be there to see everything, and it's not possible. It's not possible. Or else, like I said, at the demise of the owner, the business dies. What is the secret behind the companies like Coca-Cola, and all the Marriotts of this world, the Sheraton, etc.? What's the secret? It's because they have process and they have a system. So once there is no process, you're just wasting your time. So and like I always say, a brand is built. It does not come by accident. There has to be intention. It has to be deliberate. You have to be deliberate about building a brand. Well, the truth is, staff will always live where they are not well treated. One thing is to say you are training. Another thing is the environment conducive for them? They are not animals. If they are well treated, they will stay. They receive training. They see a future in the organization. There's nothing like staff handbook. You don't even know your rights. You don't know your privileges. You don't know where the company's right stops and where yours starts. You don't know whether you are entitled to leave or not. In fact, that one is in the hotels. In our climb here, there is nothing like leave. You treat them anyhow. Why will they stay? But go and check out those local brands that have adopted these global best practices. Their staff are not going because they see a future. And the issue of trust, you're talking about trust. It's not peculiar with the local brands. If money can be stolen in the local brands, it can be stolen in the international brands. But the difference is the process. You see, like most of our clients, when we try to consult for, when we take over, I always tell them, look, let's put a system in place. Increase their salaries. Let their salaries be enough. Then those that were there with the wrong intention, by the time the systems are in place, they will leave because they know they cannot steal. Recently, in one of the hotels I consult for, somewhere in Ogun State, we recruited the maintenance officer, and they overheard him talking on phone that, it's like there are no lapses here. Barely 7 days. He was already looking for, lapses to explore, and that he has to leave. You won't believe, within a week, he has already given us a notice that he's resigning. Why? Because there's a system in place. Use this PMS we are talking about. Property management software. It has different modules. You have the front desk module. You have the restaurant and bar modules. You have the accounting module, the inventory module. Different modules, and they all work together. It's a central theme. Even the HR module, whereby you onboard your staff on the software. Right on the software, you know whether their documents are complete or not. Those that are 80% complete, what are the outstanding documents, the guarantors, and all those things. But most of these people, when you tell them, it's alien to them. They don't believe it's workable here. All there is, and another thing, another dimension, another thing I noticed about our local owners is, how much was your sales yesterday? The next thing is he has taken everything. He's going to party. No future. The business has no future. And when the employees see you spend like that, see you behave like that, you are also tempting them to start behaving like that, to go into the money if they have the opportunity to, because they don't have a future in that business. They know their future is not guaranteed. Tomorrow the business might fold up because of the recklessness of the owner. You are building a business. Allow it to grow. Nurture it. Let it grow. Let it grow. Let me break it down. Like when I say the front desk module, the module has a lot of features whereby when your guest walks in, or either online, you can book online and it will reflect right there. You can book right from London. You go to the website, the hotel's website, and right from the comfort of your bedroom, you are seeing the different categories of rooms, just as if you are already in the hotel. And you are seeing the attached rack rates. And you make a pick. And as you pick, you have the option of payment. And as you make the payment, you reserve the date and a future date, and you make the payment. As soon as you make the payment, it reflects right in the hotel on the front desk. For example, you picked room 107, and somebody else walks into the front desk and says, I want room 107. Sorry, it will show that it's no more available, even though you didn't see the guests, but it's been paid for online. Can't you see it makes life easy? It increases, improves the guest experiences. It makes your potential guests or your guests happy. Makes things easy for them. So you can achieve that online. You can also achieve it by walking into the front desk, and you can make a reservation. All you need to do is check the rooms. You don't even need to go around and looking at the rooms. It's displayed for you at the front desk. You have it on the screen. You see the different categories of room. You make a pick and you make payment. Now, when you make payment, a receipt is generated immediately. Another thing is, that's what you call door integration. When you're talking about fraud, you integrate your door. That's the card system, not the iron key, the card system. You integrate it with your software in such a way that once a card is activated, because once payment is made, the card is activated automatically. The owner already gets an alert. In some software, it's called MRS, Management Report System, that a room has been sold. Either you are there or not. It's as clear, as simple as that. You don't need to come, and some owners will come and sit down at the reception to see what is happening. No, you don't even need a camera. Everything is automated. No room can be opened. You can't access any room without the card being activated. And the card cannot be activated except payment is made. It's only the payment that activates the card. Can you see that control? So now another question comes. What about when you want to clean the room? How do you get the card? That's what you call, MasterCard, or floor card and all that, depending. Now, personally, I advise my clients, you don't activate a MasterCard to work indefinitely, to work anytime, anyhow. We have hours of cleaning. So your MasterCard is activated to work. For example, the checkout time is 12 o'clock. So you activate it in such a way that it's only active between 12 and maybe 3 o'clock or so. Every daily. Once it is 3, you cannot access the room with the MasterCard again. You can see the tech we are talking about. So you can't access any room again. And again, we have energy saving lights, whereby it's only that same card that can power the lights and the TV and the AC in the room. No guest wants to check into a room without the AC working, without the TV working. So it's only that same card that can power the systems. So you won't check me in by 1 o'clock because you have access to MasterCard. And by 3 or 4, once your card is no more active, I'm in darkness. You know? And again, you can always generate a report from the front desk that will tell you how many times, you know, the kind of the entrance, whether the room was opened with a MasterCard or it was opened with, you know, with a guest card. Right from the report you see. And when you go to the report and you see that MasterCard open at this time, you say, what happened? Why? Who was the person that accessed the room? So you don't need to be there. A particular client of mine was trying to lease out his hotel, which I always strongly advise against, on the island because he was relocating to Dubai, United Arab Emirates, you know. So I advised him against it. Why do you want to? I've told you to install a PMS since. This will give you some level of comfort because his main reason is that I'm here, right under my nose. They are still stealing. When I leave, what will happen? You don't need to. And thank God he was able to take the advice. We installed the PMS and he saw the difference. Don't underestimate your guests. Even forget the color. They may be black, but they are well traveled. They've been to America, they've been to Europe, they've been to, Dubai. They've lodged in the best hotels in the world, and they know what good service is. So don't think you can just give them any kind of service anyhow. They have an expectation. For every, rack rate, for every money paid, there is a value, an expected value attached to it. Why is it that you see some guests, they lodge in 5-star hotels, they pay as much as 1 million naira, 700,000, 500,000 a night, and when they wake up in the morning, because of the kind of treatment, when they are checking out, you still see them giving out tips. They are happy. Meanwhile, this same set will go to some local brands, maybe as a result of lack of availability of such class of hotel in their village or in they have a function somewhere, and they pay just 30,000 naira, and you see them complaining and quarreling and getting angry, agitated, Why? Because of the service. 30,000 has a value, an expected value. Same thing with 500,000 naira. If he had paid 500,000 naira in a 5-star hotel and he didn't get the attached value, he will complain. But he paid 30,000 and he could not even sleep at night, mosquito, all through the night. The AC is not working. Why? Because there is no process, no system. All these ACs and all these things, they all have, you have a kind of maintenance worksheet, maintenance plan. It does not have to break down before you start repairing it. You maintain them. When the generator has worked for so number of hours, it must be serviced. How often do we check all these things in our local brands? Because there's even no system, no SOP, nothing in place. You just open and start running. It's not done anywhere. I gave an example of someone who brought in 100 million naira and the whole thing disappeared. Let me say, what we should know is that money is inflammable. The whole thing went in flames. That's how I will put it, within 6 months. Why? Because there was no due process. There was no planning. He didn't understand what he was coming to do. He just dabbled into it. In my book, which I'll be launching soon in my event coming up. I call it ABC of creating a great hospitality brand. Simple, steps of creating a brand. I mean, I made reference to such owners as accidental owners. You just inherited a property, or you felt, okay, what is moving now? What can we do? They say hotel is bringing in money, jackpot. Many people have gone into it and they've gotten their fingers burnt. So I will advise investors, if you want to invest, do proper feasibility study. Do proper feasibility study. Well, let me give you an example, a practical example. One of my clients started a 23 rooms hotel in Delta, and according to him, it's almost 3-4 years now. According to him, he spent about 400 million naira. He's smiling today. Right now, there is no day that he does not have a turnover. You can do something smaller, even with 100 million, Yes, it depends. I just gave a practical example. I know of people that have just 7 rooms, and they are making their money every day because they've done, their due diligence. No, definitely, it will reflect on your pricing. And once, like I always tell people, is value for value. I can't be forced to sell my room 10,000 naira because my neighbor is selling for 10,000 naira. I can sell mine for 40,000 naira and still be fully booked. While the one that is selling for 10,000 naira is not even attracting any guests. Why? Because the 10,000 naira will try to say, okay, when it is 12, we turn off the gen because we want to conserve energy. We don't have money to buy diesel and all that. Start rationing. No guests will feel comfortable. These guests, even in their personal homes, they enjoy 24 hours light. They enjoy themselves. Then you now come, to a hotel where you should relax and be able to think properly. And they are telling you they are turning off the gen because they don't want to sell the room high. I'll tell my clients, sell it high, but create the value. When the value is there, make sure you recover your costs. You have to impute all these things, into your costing. Many of them don't even believe there is need for a revenue manager. Apart from the normal manager, you have a revenue manager. You have cost accountants, apart from the main accountant, people that are in charge of costing. You're selling a plate of food for 7,000 naira. What is the cost? Many of them don't know. And like I said, most of this software takes care of all these things. The recipes are there in the software, all programmed. So when you have sold a plate of rice, you already know how much is your profit on it. It comes to that. So we have to be very analytical. Yeah, majorly it's let me say government policies. It affects, like in Lagos State now, we talk of consumption tax. Then the federal will still come and say you should pay VAT, which is repetition. Consumption tax is 5%. Then the federal government is asking for 7.5. Is that not 12.5? How? How do you survive? You understand? So these are challenges, and that's one of the reasons, for the vision for my program, which will be coming up in September. It's called Hotel Owners Dinner Outreach. It sort of creates an environment where you have the policymakers You have the stakeholders, the investors, the owners of hotel, the practitioners, all come together under one roof. Then we dialogue, look at the investment climb, look at the challenges, we rub minds together, and we come up with solutions, possible solutions. Like you cannot be up there churning out rules. You are so far from the players. You don't even know, you can't feel them. You don't know what they are going through. A client of mine, the road to his hotel is terrible, very terrible. And it's hardly having guests. And this government arm will come and pay consumption tax. Another will pay advert. Another will pay different kinds of local government will come and ask for their own. So like this year's edition, we are bringing in the number one taxman in the state, for example, who will be we call it investment roundtable. Who will be in the panel. We have a representative of the international brand. That's the owners of Marriott Hotel in GRA, Ikeja. He'll be in the panel too. And we have the permanent secretary, tourism, who'll be in the panel. So we'll bring them together. Then we have consultants, practitioners of over 40 years in the industry in that same panel. That's the president of AFCON. AFCON is Association of Tourism and Hospitality Consultants in Nigeria. He'll be in the panel. All of them. So let us discuss. Let's feel each other's pain. Let us understand. The government, tell us why you are taxing us like this and all that. So that's one challenge. Another one is power. Of course, there's nothing we can do about that. It's a national thing, and until it is solved nationally, we'll keep generating our own. While we always advise that, owners should look at, solar, which is environmental friendly. That's even the way, hospitality is going. We talk about sustainability, in hospitality, social, economic, and environmental. Those are other issues again, another topic entirely, maybe for another day. We should just keep it professional. Whatever you are doing, keep it professional. You're building a brand. Always remember that a brand is a promise. Make sure you always keep it. A brand is an experience. Always improve the experience. A brand is a reputation. Maintain it.
Well, I would say now he's gotten the job. If this question had come before now, I would be able to say that I do not think we need him. But he's there now, so all we need to do is see what best he can do or what best we can do to support him to succeed. Now, going by his previous records, going by all that he's achieved in sports, ordinarily, one wouldn't have said he's the best for the Super Eagles at this time. But here we are. Decision makers have made their decisions. They've taken the decisions. We can only talk, but they already have their way. I think his assessment will start when he starts playing games. He's not had any game with Nigeria, so we can't assess him. But going by his previous records, I don't think he would have been the best for Nigeria at this time. Not against other homegrown indigenous coaches who have had better records. within and outside Nigeria. On a scale of 1 to 10, I don't think Shele will fit in at any point. But of course, having him been appointed, all we need to do is give support and see the best that we can get from him, being Nigerians. And of course, at all times, irrespective of whatever decisions are taken, we want Nigeria to excel. Because in Nigeria's excellence, we are proud. In Nigeria's excellence, those of us that are in the media and sporting media, to be precise, we can do business. If Nigeria is not winning, the biggest brand for Nigeria is the Super Eagles.
Anthony Onyemaechi Elumelu was born on the 22nd of March 1963 in Jos, North Central Nigeria, to Susanna.
Human achievements, goal setting, hard work, and dedication have been proven to be some of the elements towards success. The journey of remarkable individuals with lasting impact on the world are often filled with manifold stories, but through determination, they build their lives and make extraordinary contributions. Join me on the story of a trailblazer in business and philanthropy, Aiboje Ag Mokwede, a lawyer turned banker who has done well for himself, made an indelible mark within the banking sector, and has continued in his ambition of touching lives within Nigeria and across Africa. Aiboje Ag Mokwede. Within the Nigerian business space and philanthropy, few names resonate and are respected profoundly. Such is Aiboje Ag Mokwede. If you're just watching, kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel for more great documentaries. Like, share, and comment. Known as a successful business mogul, banker, investor, and a philanthropist who cares about making difference, Ag Mokwede's story is one of hard work, creativity, and a desire to drive positive change across Africa. Born to civil service parents on September 24, 1966 in Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria, he hails from Sabongida Ora, Edo State. Aiboje spent his formative years with his parents in Lagos, where he had his primary education at St. Saviour's School. He enrolled into Federal Government College, Kaduna, and at age 16, he was admitted to study law at the University of Benin, where he graduated at a young age of 19 with a law degree, displaying early signs of his exceptional intellect and drive. Called to the Nigerian bar in 1987, he started his career in 1988 as a lawyer at Continental Merchant Bank during his National Youth Service Corps NYSC year. In 1991, he joined Guarantee Trust Bank PLC GT Bank, where he rose to prominence as an executive director. His big moment came in 2002 when he led the acquisition of Access Bank, turning it from a small regional bank into a big player, a banking powerhouse in the industry. Throughout his career, Ike Mokwede has taken on different leadership roles, including Group Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Access Bank until December 2013. He later became President of the Nigerian Stock Exchange and retired in 2017, but remains on the National Council. Bowing out of Access Bank, he was given a befitting send-off.
No man or combination of men could transform what we met in Access Bank in 2002 into what would cause this type of people to come and celebrate today's office.
His foresight and managerial acumen have brought him chairmanship and directorial roles in prominent organizations such as African Finance Corporation, Associated Discount House Limited, Petrolon Energy, among others, thereby contributing greatly to their growth and sustainability. Hard work, they say, pays. Igboje Mokwede's hard work earned him many awards and honors. He received the National Productivity Order of Merit Award in 2009, conferred with Commander of the Order of the Niger CON in 2011 by the then President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, Goodluck Jonathan, during his administration for contributing to banking and finance. As a visionary leader, he was installed into the E&Y World Entrepreneurs Hall of Fame in 2011 as the EY West Africa Entrepreneur of the Year and named African Banker of the Year in 2013. These amounting to how much others values his leadership and ideas. He got honored by Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers of Nigeria. Beside his work, Ige Mokwede also gives back to society. This philanthropist is involved in efforts to improve governance and healthcare across Africa through his Ige Mokwede Foundation, making a positive impact on people's lives. He initiated the Adopt a Healthcare Facility program in 2019, and he is the chairman of ABC Health and director of the Private Sector Health Alliance of Nigeria. He is the founder of Chairman of Coronation Capital Limited since 2015 and has contributed to the growth of the Coronation ecosystem. Coronation Capital Limited, with other arms of its businesses, also bettered Coronation Art Gallery in Lagos on the 13th of May 2022, a platform for showcasing exceptional works of art that embodied the essence of cultural significance and artistic expression. Igboje Ige Mokwede founded Coronation Art Gallery with the vision of democratizing art foster appreciation and understanding for the artistic world, and making it accessible to a wider audience.
Bumi Augusto is, I knew Bumi when she was born. I know her parents, and I know all her siblings. She's a beautiful, wonderful, gifted Nigerian artist, and just like many of the others here. The piece behind me is a triptych, long throats, all up to longer throats. I actually thought that I was going to caption this collection. This is really a microcosm of my entire collection, but I was going to capture it longer throats, because this represents a lot of this collecting I did during COVID. Many of these pieces actually were not in Nigeria. I brought them home. I'll tell you something. I'm known for collecting masters, the Enwonwus and the Yusuf Grillos and so on. I still do, okay? And I kind of stuck to that genre of classic. Those are the people who, when I was growing up, as I told you, those are the people who were my parents, either just older than them or contemporaries. So I grew up knowing these artists as my uncles, okay? So my first collecting was, from works, done by masters like that. After a while, these works are really priced in. But Bumi Augusto, her works, which may appear even a bit pricey now, in 10 years' time, So this is also hosted by Coronation, which are companies that are all about wealth creation. So there's also the investment angle. I don't collect for investments, but with all that these great Nigerian and African artists, the young ones, have been doing, and the way their prices have been rising, I've got to focus on investments now.
He collaborated with the Nigerian Civil Service to digitalize work processes and public service delivery in October 2021. Recognizing 43 public servants at the 2022 Civil Service Award ceremony on behalf of the Ige Mokwede Foundation, with an encouragement of cash prize worth 500,000 naira for each awardees.
It is my understanding that annually 43 public servants will be recognized in this fashion, and so with effect from the 2022 Civil Service Awards ceremony, on behalf of the Ige Mokwede Foundation, we will be putting an endowment with effect from this award session, whereby each awardee receives a cash prize of 500,000 naira. And in the interest of digital culture, the credits will go directly to your accounts.
Among his many certifications, affiliations, and fellowships, Ige Mokwede holds Triumph MBA from the London School of Economics, New York University, and HEC Paris. He attended an executive management program at Harvard Business School in the year 2000, and he is a member of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences, also appointed to the International Advisory Board of Oxford University's Blavatnik School of Government. Ige Mokwede is a honorary fellow of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria and had received an honorary doctorate of science from Olabisi Onabanjo University in 2018. Also honored by Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers of Nigeria last year in a groundbreaking ceremony.
If the operators of our markets, of a nation's capital markets, are properly resourced in terms of skill, capacity, and conduct, nothing can stop that nation and its citizens from leaving the tarmac
and moving from third world to first world. Nothing can stop it. The correlation between the advancement of financial markets and the advancement of national economies is perfect. It's not almost, it is perfect. And so, you understand why I have tied myself to the future of this market and why I have tried from the very word go that my voice was heard to get the public sector and the elite within the private sector to understand that we cannot ignore this market.
Aiboje is the first African co-chairman of the Global Business Coalition on Health and chairman of the Friends of the Global Fund, Africa. The business mogul has made significant donations to the Global Fund. He is the vice chairman of the Global Citizen Nigeria and creator of the Nigerian Solidarity Support Fund.
Elon Musk is a visionary entrepreneur leading innovative ventures in technology, space exploration, electric vehicles, and renewable energy. Musk was born on June 28, 1971 to a South African engineer and his mother, a Canadian model and nutritionist in Pretoria, South Africa. His talents for computers and entrepreneurship emerged early, and at age 12, he created and sold a video game. Musk studied physics and economics at Queen's University and the University of Pennsylvania. In 1995, Musk founded Zip2, sold to Compaq for $307 million. He also co-founded X.com, which became PayPal, acquired by eBay for $1.5 million in 2002. Driven by a vision for humanity's multiplanetary future, Musk founded SpaceX in 2002, developing affordable rockets to support International Space Station mission and NASA's Artemis program. He became a major investor in Tesla 2004, launching electric vehicles like Roadster, Model X, and Model 3. Tesla unveiled the Cybertruck, beginning deliveries in 2023. Musk acquired X, formerly known as Twitter, in 2022, aiming to enhance future and transparency. Musk has at least 12 children from multiple relationships, including Justin Wilson, Tallulah Riley, Grimes, and Siobhan Zilis. Through SpaceX, Tesla, and other ventures, Musk shapes technology and innovation globally, and his influence extends beyond business into politics and culture.
Tradition is a fundamental aspect of every native community. Observing it does not only remind people of who they are, it helps young people to learn and also aids in preserving ancestral history, moments and efforts that binds them together, enriching the vibrant identity their community now exudes. In India, Dhanteras is one of such tradition and integral culture of the Hindu community, a significant festival that marks the onset of the 5-day Diwali celebrations, Festival of Light. Observed on the 13th lunar day of the Krishna Paksha, which is the dark fortnight in the Hindu month of Kartik. The festival is dedicated to welcoming wealth and prosperity, reflecting in its name. Dan Teras combines Dan, meaning wealth, and Teras, representing the 13th day. This auspicious occasion is celebrated with great enthusiasm as households are thoroughly cleaned and decorated, symbolizing the removal of negativity and the invitation of fortune. People create intricate rangoli designs and light diyas to honor the goddess Lakshmi, the deity of wealth, and invite her blessings. Dhanteras has roots in the Hindu mythology, highlighting two divine manifestations from the legendary churning ocean, or Samudra Mantha. On this day, the goddess Lakshmi is believed to have emerged from the ocean, and devotees worship her for blessings of prosperity. Another divine figure, Dhanvantari, the physician of the gods and an incarnation of Vishnu, also appeared carrying the Amrita, underscoring the day's connection to health and wealth. Astrologers such as Vats note the festival's dual blessings traditionally associated with wealth. Dhanteras is also linked to health, with prayers to Dhanvantari promoting healing and well-being. The observance of Dhanteras, also known as Lakshmi Puja, includes varied customs across India. In Maharashtra, dried coriander seeds mixed with jaggery are offered to Lakshmi. Many light sky lamps and diyas to honor Yama, the god of death, for protection. Evening rituals involve singing bhajans and offering sweets to Lakshmi, while families purchase new items like gold, silver, and kitchenware to symbolize luck and prosperity for the coming year. Village communities extend blessings to their livelihoods, with farmers honoring cattle through rituals and treats. In South India, particularly Tamil Nadu, Brahmin families observe Dhanteras by preparing marundu, a traditional medicine that balances the body's tridosh, marking an Ayurvedic approach to health and longevity. In Gujarat, family gatherings feature festive meals like Dabat and Malpua, showcasing regional diversity. Each aspect of Dhanteras, from cleaning and renewal to offerings and health rituals, embodies the essence of welcoming auspiciousness. Each aspect of Dhanteras, from cleaning and renewal to offerings and health rituals, embodies the essence of welcoming auspiciousness, health, and prosperity for the year ahead. Grace Komolafe, SOUQ News Television.
Cocoa remains a significant cash crop in Nigeria, predominantly produced by small-scale farmers in the country's southwest region. Historically, cocoa served as a major source of foreign earnings until the 1970s, when the discovery of petroleum shifted the focus away from agriculture. Despite various challenges from its introduction in 1807 to the present, efforts by successive governments and the resilience of cocoa farmers have sustained its production. To better optimize productivity and ensure fair prices for farmers and high economic returns for the government, the Cocoa Marketing Board, CMB, was established in 1947. However, the goal was not totally achieved as pricing policy weren't favorable, discouraging farmers from producing export crops, and that eventually led to the board's abolition in 1986. These resulted in reduced yields and lower quality cocoa beans. Meanwhile, the millennium era witnessed a shift in farmers' focus towards more economically viable crops like oil palm due to the high cost and intensive care required for cocoa production. Cocoa production faces several obstacles, including limited access to fertilizers, unfavorable climate conditions, pest infestation, poor infrastructure, and land shortages. Also, herders' attacks on farmers have deterred farmers from expanding their farmlands. According to research, Despite challenges, cocoa production has empowered many farmers and more stakeholders in the value chain, improving their living standards, enabling them to provide education for their children, cover medical expenses, and build better homes. Concerning the future of cocoa farming in Nigeria, there are mixed opinions among farmers. Some are hopeful that government's reinvestment in addressing current challenges can revive the sector's past success. Others are pessimistic due to the persistent issues and the trend of farmers shifting to other crops. Regardless, hope remains for the sector. Solutions like improving land-labor relations, infrastructure, and financial support could revitalize cocoa production, reduce out migration, stabilize prices, and enhance value chain development, ultimately securing a brighter future for Nigerian cocoa farming and its stakeholders. Ojai Michael, reporting for SOUQ News.